2 what? 259. Okay. So QS. QS is 32. So it means connecting Q to S is 32 millimeters. Okay, just this length from Q to S is 32. Can you see that already at the back? A little bigger. Okay, angle PQS is 50. Which angle are they really talking about? Q. They're talking about Q. From P to Q to S is 50 degrees. It's always the middle one. Okay, now this one we have to be careful with. It says RPS is 61. Now P can be broken up into 3 different angles. It could be this full thing, it could be the one on the left, or it could be on the one on the right. So which one are they talking about when they say RPS, angle RPS? The one on the left, because we're going from R to P to S, RPS. So that is 61 degrees. Okay. Did they tell us anything else? No, right? What do we want to look for? QR. So find the length of QR. So in order to find the length of QR, which is the entire thing, what do I need to know first? We need to know the side RS. Okay, side RS. That's what we need to know. So in today's lesson, we often have to do more than one calculation. We will have to do more than one calculation to get what we want. So if I look at the triangle on the left, the right triangle on the left, do I have enough information to find RS? No, so that's where we're going to use the triangle on the right to get me information so I can solve the triangle on the left. What's in common with the two triangles? What do they share? Yeah. SP or PS. Yeah, this slide right here, I'm going to call it Y. Okay, that height or H or whatever you want to call it is what they share. So if I knew side Y, then I always need to know 2 pieces of information, right? I need to know 2 sides, or I need to know an acute angle and 1 side in order to solve a triangle, a right triangle. So if I knew side Y, could I solve for X? Yeah, because I know the 61 degrees. If I knew these 2 pieces of information, I could get that X. So we're going to start by solving for Y. So looking at this triangle here on the right, we have the 50 degrees, Y, and 32. Okay, so let's label it. What's Y? Opposite. What's 32? Adjacent. So looking at SOHCAHTOA, who do we want to use? Tan. Okay, so tan, we set it up. Tan of our angle, so tan of 50 equals what divided by what? Y over 32, opposite over adjacent. Okay, getting Y by itself, what am I going to do? Multiply both sides by 32, or think of it as cross multiplication, same idea. Right, we get the same thing if you think of it as cross multiplication. So that gives us, type that in. Now, is that our final answer? Did you get the same thing?
No, you put 3 instead of 3.
Okay, that's why. Better? 38.136 ... Okay, we don't want to round this one because that's not our final answer. We want to still use that exact value. Because if you start using rounded answers and you keep doing that and you keep rounding all the way through, you're compromising your final answer. That's not good. Okay, so now that we know that, let's draw the triangle that's on the left now. We now know this PS side is 38.136. Right, we know the Y. We're looking for the X, and this is 61. Okay, so what's X called? Opposite. What's 38.136 ... adjacent, so which ratio? 10. Tan of 61 equals x over the 38. 0.136. And to get x by itself, multiply both sides by the 38.136. Okay? All right? So when you type that in your calculator, you should just go times. And automatically it'll say answer times. You just push the time symbol. So answer times tan 61, which gives us our, to the nearest millimeter. Wow, that's not our final answer. 68 point what? 68.799 or 68.8 is fine, because we're going to go to the nearest millimeter in the end. That's x. So what's the length of RQ? How would I get RQ now? So add 32 to it. And we get 100.799, or to the nearest millimeter, 101 millimeters. Okay, so today's lesson is just taking, you have two triangles, you have to use one triangle to get the information to get what you really want from the second triangle. That's what we're doing today. Is it really much different than what you've already done? No, it's the same. It really is the same, just 2 steps instead of 1 step. That's the only difference. Okay? We need to go through this one. I feel like this is almost identical. Well, we can do this one. Okay, we're only doing 3 questions today. Okay, this one's fine. Find BEC. So the middle one is E, but which angle do we want? Do we want the one on the left, the right, or the entire thing? The left, because we're going from B to E, then to C, right? If I highlight BEC, from B to E to C, that's what we're doing. So we want this angle as our unknown. Okay? Do I have enough information in that triangle to find an angle? Right now on the left triangle. No. What do I have to solve for first? EC, because that's what they share. So we're going to solve for EC. We'll call this X. Okay? We're going to solve for EC. Solve for EC here, X. Okay, what's X called? Opposite. What's 3.7? Hypotenuse. SOHCAHTOA. The one with O and H is sine. So I'd set up sine of 39 equals what divided by what? Opposite over hypotenuse. 3.0, what do we do to both sides? Multiply both sides by 3.7, right? Or you could think of it as cross multiplying, so put it over 1, cross multiply. Same thing. Exact same thing. Okay, which gives us 23. 2.3. Yeah, I was like, those are pretty small numbers. Probably staying small. 2.32 dot dot dot. Okay, so now we have the triangle on the left. Can I find this angle now if we now know that this is 2.32? Yes. So according to this angle, what is the 2.32? What side is that? According to angle E, this would be adjacent, and 4.6 is going to be hypotenuse. So which ratio has adjacent and hypotenuse? Pi, yeah, cosine. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So cos of, what do you want to call that? E? Angle E? Equals What divided by what? 3.32 divided by 4.6. Okay. So how do I get an angle when I know the ratio? Inverse. Oops, not inverse sine. Inverse cos. Okay, what does that give you to the nearest degree? 60? Do you all agree with that? No? Okay, second cos. And then I'm going to go answer, my previous answer, divided by 4.6. Because you want to use that exact value. The nearest degree, it is 60. Okay. All right. Okay, next page. Last question. Have you seen a question like this before? Yes. I did do it on the board yesterday. Okay. I did. I'm going to zoom out really quickly. So this one's basically it says...
Good afternoon. All grade 10 students with the last names of A to M that did not choose their courses for next year already need to come to the library and choose their courses for next year right away. That's all grade 10 students with the last names A to M who have not already been here. Thank you so much.
Okay, angle of elevation to the top. So there's two buildings, right? It says the tallest building in Rockyville was the Metro, but then they recently built the Gamma Pro. Did I say that right? I don't know. Okay, so it says the angle of elevation of the top of the Gamma Pro is 24. Where is that going? There's two right triangles. Do you see them? Okay, so angle of elevation from the top of the Metro to the top of the Gamma Pro, this would be your angle of elevation of 24. Remember, angle of elevation has to start from a horizontal line. A straight line. Horizontal, right? Okay, I'm going fast. Is that okay? It says the angle of depression to the bottom of the Gamma Pro is 56. Where's that going? This, right there, from a horizontal down. This was horizontal up. Okay? And they also tell us that the two buildings are 45 meters apart. Okay? That's 45. And what do they want? The height of each building. Okay? So in order to do that, we have two right triangles. Right? What does this, we'll call this part X here, represent? The height of Metro, yeah. And then Y, if we call this Y, to get the second building, what would I have to do to get the height of the second building? X plus Y. X plus Y. So Metro is height is X. The Gamma Pro is X plus Y. So we need to figure out X and we need to figure out Y. Is that going to be pretty simple to do? Yes. There's two right triangles, right? So let's start with the X triangle. The X triangle, here's the X, here's 45, and here's 56. What would you call X? Opposite. What would you call 45? Adjacent. So what ratio has opposite and adjacent? TOA. Yeah, tan. TOA has O and A. TOA. Tan of 56 equals X over 45. And what would I do to both sides? Multiply by 45, or cross multiply if you'd like. I should move this out of the way. 45, 10, 56. 66.7. 1, 5, dot, dot, dot. Okay, there's X. Y. Y is the top triangle, right? 24 degrees. Y, what's this distance on the bottom? 45 as well, right? The distance between the two buildings is 45. So again, what's y called? Opposite, what's 45? Adjacent, which ratio is O and A? Tan. Tan of 24 equals y over 45. We do what to both sides? Multiply by 45. Okay. Which gives us 45, 10. I'm just going to touch it in so I have it too. 18.303. Oh, darn. Thank you. I'm so glad I have you guys to tell me I'm wrong. And I'm dead serious. 20.035. Agreed? Yes? You just are trusting me? Okay. You're so silly. Trusting me. Okay, so now do we know the height of what's the height of the metro building? So it says to the nearest meter, so 67 meters. What is the height of the how do I get the gamma pro? Add x and y together. So if I saved them here, I like these calculators because you can just highlight it, push enter, plus, and highlight that one, enter. That's so nice. The older versions can't do that. What does that equal? So 87 meters. Done. Okay. If you look at this, we're skipping this guy. Don't have to worry about that. We're skipping, yeah, and there's our assignments. That's the lesson. That's it. Okay? You have that much time to study and get ready for your test and work through this assignment. There's no excuse. You should get this all done. So what do you need to do? Circle the following. 1, A, and B. Okay? 2, 3, and 4. So 2, 3, and 4. 6A. Now, 7 and 10 are optional. So if time today, you can try 7, optional. Write that there. So when I do your homework check, I'm like, that's why I like you circling, because then it reminds me what I assigned. 9 and 10 is optional. Okay? So really, these guys are optional. You have that much time, you think you can get those done? Yes, you can. All right. So get to work.